When things feel chaotic, frazzled, our home is a source of peace. Or so that's what we strive for. Since my own childhood to living on my own, getting married, and now raising our son, I've sought to maintain a sense of peace in our home, to make it a sanctuary, a retreat from the outside world. From its actual design to our habits within these walls, these are the mostly simple ways we keep the peace inside our home. Not every morning do I have a quiet morning to myself, but I always strive to have a slow morning with everyone in our family. One of my favorite parts about being at home with my son right now is that we don't have to rush anywhere in the morning. It's such a gift to be able to wake up slowly, make breakfast, read books. I try to have a few minutes in the morning to myself to read my Bible and just drink a cup of coffee and get in the right mindset, but that is realistically not every single morning. We all really like to wake up early around here. I also like to turn on my favorite playlist in the morning. It's called Morning Hymns. They're very peaceful, acoustic hymns. I'm also a huge fan of keeping our overhead lights off for as long as possible and just lighting our house by lamps or candles, especially when it comes to the morning time. Feel a lot better when I can keep up with some sort of a cleaning routine in our home, and I'm a huge fan of just doing quick tidying throughout the house. After some sort of outing, usually our morning outing or afternoon outing, I'd like to do a few things around the house. I typically vacuum twice a day. We do have dark wood floors and I find that they just show dog hair very clearly, and we don't have an automatic vacuum or anything, so for now I like to run our vacuum twice a day, usually once in the morning, once kind of near the bedtime routine typically. I'm also a huge fan of doing one load of laundry a day. It might sound excessive, but this is the best way for me personally and my husband too to keep on top of all of our laundry and make sure everyone has consistent clean clothes. I also like to keep up with the dishes. For me, I prefer not to leave the dishes in the sink too long. We did just get a bigger sink, and I will say it's a lot easier to do that now because you can't even see them. You can just tuck them away. So I'm trying not to fall into that habit. I find our son actually likes playing in the sink, so it's typically pretty easy to wash things immediately after we cook and we eat dinner, lunch, breakfast, whatever it is. While I personally find a lot of joy in maintaining our home, I also believe everyone should have respect for it, which means everyone is helping take care of it. After all, we all do live here. As our son gets older, we try to involve him in cleaning where we can, though that's in small ways right now, like he just learned how to put his trash in the garbage can. We have to start somewhere. So much more patient and grounded when I'm also taking care of myself and filling my own cup. That doesn't mean I have all the time in the world to do all the self-care things of getting my nails done and a 15-step skincare routine, all that. But I actually just had my blood drawn to check some things because I was feeling pretty tired, low energy, and my results came back that it was technically normal, but on the lower end of normal. So they recommended that I start taking an iron supplement. Something about me, I'm very picky when it comes to supplements. I'm not just taking anything, and I wanted to find something that would actually digest a lot better, especially with iron supplements. It's very important. I've been taking Mary Ruth's vegan liquid iron. This is the berry flavor because so many iron supplements do not taste good. If you know, you know. This absorbs so much better because it's actually a liquid supplement versus taking a pill. And like I mentioned, so tasty. The berry flavor flavor is great, and I'm also so thankful to be partnering with Mary Ruth's on today's video. They have so many different vitamins and supplements. I also have a code, it's MRO Michelle R for 30% off their website. This is also the highest discount that they offer right now, so definitely take advantage. What's great about this one is it's not as inhibited when you're taking this with food, because that's a big thing to look out for when you're taking iron specifically. That's personally why I chose to take this one. And since taking that, I have already felt so much better. It's crazy what just looking at your body, seeing what you're missing and trying to fix it in an area like this. It's so simple to take in the morning. It's so digestible, it's easy, tastes good. This is normally $37.95, but with my code, it's $26.57. I also have their peach mango liquid morning multivitamin. This tastes so good. And what's really great about this too, because with low iron, I have dealt with a bit more hair loss, especially. This contains an ingredient called Lustreva, which is clinically shown in women to help grow thicker, fuller hair in as early as 3 weeks. Again, it's a liquid supplement. It's easier on your body, easier for your body to absorb. This one is originally $74.95, but with my code, it is $52.46. This is hands down the easiest way for me to take care of myself as a mom. You can use my code MRO Michelle R for 30% off the Mary Ruth's website. I will have these both linked down below. And if you've watched any of my decluttering videos, I'm also a huge fan of doing quarterly decluttering sessions. This might sound excessive, but especially now living in a bigger house, it's so easy to collect more things. And I find that this is probably the best way for me to keep up with not having excessive toys, excessive clothes that we're not using, and really just go through our stuff regularly. After moving so many times, I've realized how easy it is to keep up with things that you just don't even use, and mostly because we don't have the time to really go through it. So I just set a day once a season to go through everything, and I find that that helps me have a level head and ultimately feel more peaceful in our home. I'm going to the gym right now because exercise is definitely one of those things that keeps the peace within my soul, but this is actually deeper than that. And I wanted to say that it is so important to, for me, marry someone who also helps protect peace, in that I coordinate with my husband to be able to go to the gym just so he's able to spend time with Connor while I do this. And just in general, since having him, we have had such a great system in allowing each other to do things that still fill their cup. And sometimes for me, that looks like going to the gym, spending time with my girlfriends, going thrifting, working at a coffee shop, things that really bring me joy that, you know, ultimately I am doing solo. And especially right now, it's just pretty easy to be able to allow each other to do those things. I find that I don't need to do these things all the time. I mean, going to the gym, I try to go a couple times a week. Otherwise, I'm fine to work out at home, but a gym workout is just really nice. But they help give me balance. And he has always told me that he notices such a big difference when I'm doing these things as regularly as possible. And so he's always very happy and just very encouraging of me doing these things as much as possible. And I wanted to encourage you that often when you're marrying someone, you're not just marrying for yourself, but also your future kids and just the lifestyle that you want to have, allowing each other to have the space to do these things, and also just aligning on our values. Something about me is that I love work. Especially with the nature of what I do online, creating these videos, it brings me so much joy just to throw myself into making videos, thinking of concepts, putting together a story. It just makes me so excited, and I'm so thankful that I still have the opportunity to do that while also being a mom. But I noticed such a correlation between the amount that I am working and how stressed and anxious I feel, and bringing that into our home, into our environment. Realistically, I have had to pull back in order to maintain some sort of peace. You may notice that I don't share videos on here as often as I used to, and a big part of that is I really try to maintain the same level of quality, but I can't really put out as much output. And again, going back to before, this is just not my turn for this to be my sole focus. As much as I love it, as much as it brings me so much joy, I am operating out of balance within my life and trying to make sure that I'm doing whatever it takes to, at the end of the day, always prioritize my family. I know this isn't realistically to encourage everyone to just work less and not do as much. I'm just speaking from my own position doing this as a part-time job. I hadn't really heard a lot of people talk about this before having kids, of having to shift your source source of value, of finding so much value out of working and getting such a positive feedback loop, whether that be making more money, whether that be getting praise online, all those things. There's such tangible ways that you're feeling that affirmation, and you're not always getting that when you're raising kids. I just wanted to share that because I wish that that was something that I heard before. But just because you're not getting those tangible results doesn't mean that what you're doing isn't worthwhile. It's not meaningful. This actually reminds me of something I read in my devotional. It says a private relationship of worshiping God is the greatest essential element of spiritual fitness. The time will come, as Nathaniel experienced in this passage, that a private fig tree life will no longer be possible. Everything will be out in the open, and you will find yourself to be of no value there if you have not been worshiping in everyday occasions in your own home. If your worship is right in your private relationship with God, then when He sets you free, you will be ready. It is in the unseen life, which only God saw, that you have become perfectly fit. And when the strain of the crisis comes, you can be relied upon by God. 1, assess your life and assess the things that are not bringing that peace into your home and alter them. I think it can feel overwhelming, but a lot of times it's just a couple of things that are quick fixes. And for me, that was having less deadlines and not having to be on here all the time. Speaking from the perspective of someone who doesn't have childcare. And 2, in those quiet moments that God sees you, and that is all the affirmation that you need. As often as possible, we spend time in nature. There's nothing more grounding than being unplugged and noticing the beauty around us. I've always stood by the parenting advice that most grumpy moods can be solved by putting your child in water or putting them outside. Most of what I've learned through parenting so far is that no book is actually going to teach you how to be a good parent, but I did read one book that I did find to be very beneficial, and that was Simplicity Parenting. This portion really stuck out to me. It says, meaning hides in repetition. We do this every day or every week because it matters. We are connected by this thing that we do together. We matter to one another. In the tapestry of childhood, what stands out is not the splashy blowout trip to Disneyland, but the common threads that run throughout and repeat. The family dinners, nature walks, reading together at bedtime with a hot water bottle at our feet on winter evenings, Saturday morning pancakes. If these videos ever seem repetitive, mundane, it's because that is really what our life looks like. I found so much comfort in my own childhood through doing these things repeatedly. Church on Sundays. Wednesday nights we would have an Italian meal. While routines can seem boring, I think that they are so essential for children, especially to know what to expect, to feel grounded, and to have things to look forward to throughout the week. And I find that there's so much peace within them. I obviously just showered, and it made me think about how I just have the best prayer time, specifically in the shower. That was one of those things that pre-kid I would have these just longer quiet times of prayer, journaling, all that. And now it's very much just spread out throughout my day. There are so many things throughout the day that really try to just compete for your peace. And for me, being able to pray in that moment is so beneficial to ground me and to help me remember truth when I'm otherwise being swayed by emotions, fleeting feelings of frustration. Since college, I've attended a Presbyterian church. And for me, one of the things I really appreciate specifically about this church is the emphasis on liturgy, because it's a lot of reciting these verses and catechisms that have been around for years and years and years. And especially being, sometimes frazzled, sometimes having mom brain, I don't necessarily have the words to come up with in my head for specific prayers. It's nice to have these prayers that have been around for years and years and years that I can just recite. Just for instance, a lot of times at dinner time, we'll recite the Lord's Prayer of Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, your kingdom come, thy will be done. It is nice to have those prayers memorized, and just scripture in general memorized when you are in a specific circumstance where things are feeling pretty dicey, you're feeling easily swayed. To just have that strong foundation in the moment is very grounding. And especially just as a mom, being out and about, being able to pray in the moment, I find is one of the greatest gifts. Over on Instagram, I asked for some of the specific ways that you keep the peace in your home, and I wanted to share them. Some of them are deeper, some of them are a bit more lighthearted. No TVs in the bedroom. This one I think is interesting because I actually love to watch TV in our bedroom. We don't have a TV in here, but sometimes we'll pull our laptop into bed, and there's just something about it. it. I think it's because it's not something we do normally that it feels extra fun, but I completely understand that. And yeah, I remember when we first got married, we always said we never want to have a TV in our bedroom. It is nice to keep it more of a peaceful sanctuary. Playing instrumental worship music in the mornings, have the kitchen clean before you go to bed. Find this leads to a calm morning. I'm a huge proponent of this. Open the windows when it rains to purify the air in your home. I love this. Turning down the lighting in our house in the evening. Keep it clean, not always deep clean, just surface level clean and tidy. I love this. Put our home to bed. Tidy, wipe down counters, run the dishwasher before bed. Only salt lamps after dark. I can get behind this. Nothing is a big deal. Make it a silly moment and embrace the challenges. I love this. This is something we totally implement with our son, especially just doing things that aren't normally that exciting, like brushing teeth and bath time, making it just a fun experience. I find just romanticizing things in general, it truly does make life so much more special. Every Sunday we have a check-in where we discuss any grievances, review plans, etc. I love that. The toddler's nap time is a quiet time for everyone. We definitely do this in our house. No caffeine tea before sleep. Letting my space not be a reflection of Pinterest and being content with simplicity. Not having the TV on as background noise. No big lights, LOL. You know I'm a fan. Praying over the rooms in our house. Phones put on the counter away for the night as soon as we get home from work. I can see how that's helpful. That would definitely be a harder one to implement. And seriously, so many other ones. And the final thing, and this is ultimately the most important thing for myself, for my family, behind the scenes, this has not been an easy week. This has been a challenging week. Actually recording this video, we've had no AC. Have been getting over a sickness. I cannot express how important it is to find your peace in something that is not reliant on external forces. And for me, that just happens to be my relationship with God. I love this verse in Isaiah. It says, Isaiah 26:3, you keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. It's been such a good reminder though to focus on the things that are at hand, of pouring into my family, the things that truly matter, just looking at your sphere of life, the things that you're able to bring that sense of peace. It is so important in those smaller, maybe more shallow things of how your home is set up, but also how you are living your daily life. Sometimes these videos feel so repetitive, so boring. I'm doing the same things, but that's because I think that these things that you are doing every single day have so much weight to them, and they truly matter because that is what makes up your entire life. It's not the one-off crazy fun experiences that do add zest to life. It's the daily things that are mundane, that are boring, but ultimately do give meaning to your life. That's just my heart behind this video, but you guys mean so much to me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye, friends.